win up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, have me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what, told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm backed up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up.
What up, what up, what up? This is Julius Campbell is in the house, Julius Hall, and my partner Frederick Green. Listen, this is On the Microphone with OAA, filling in the gaps, Our Black Media. Listen, Incarceration to Incorporation. I know it's been a while since I've been with you, but I miss you and you've been on my mind. Listen, we got a wonderful topic tonight, and I want you to chime in and ask us some questions and listen, because we're here tonight to encourage and to educate and to empower. What does it look like when you are too busy? That's what we're talking about tonight, the burdens of being too busy. And I got two men on right now tonight who definitely can feel what I'm talking about when we are talking about being too busy, whether it is too busy in our marriages, too busy for our ministries, too busy for our organizations, just busy, 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 especially when it comes to those of us that are coming home, returning citizens. We've been out of prison and now we're trying to hit the ground running and make up for lost time, and that causes us to get too busy. But before we even get into it, I want to introduce my peoples, let them say a little something about what's going on, and then I want to tell you what we do here at Incarceration to Incorporation. What up, Fred? What up, Julius?
What it do? What it do? How everybody doing out there?
Mm-hmm.
So who you want to go first?
Let's go, Fred. Fred, tell us who you are and what you got going on.
Well, that's what we talk about. We're talking about being too busy. So I got everything going on. And see, having everything going on sometimes can create a problem. Fred Green, Seaport bound, doing a thing with filling the gaps, outreach, also Incarceration Incorporation, working with OAA, you know what I'm saying? And it just goes on. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to break this thing down and try to see how we could narrow the focus a little bit. So we're going to have this discussion, because we don't want anybody out there coming out of incarceration, or if you've been out for a while, to have the burden of being too busy. And me and Judy were talking about it. So that's why we just decided to come on today and say, let's have a conversation with our people. Let's have a conversation so that somebody can learn from my mistake.
True that. A candid conversation at that. Julius Hall, what's up?
Well, busy. And that's my middle name. It should be my middle name, Julius Too Busy Hall. Because what we're doing here on this platform, we're on all social media platforms, and I got to oversee everything with the team. The team is not there like me; they're part-time. I'm here full-time, so I got to oversee everything. You talking about being busy. We got Roku TV. We anybody in the world can tune in and get us on their Roku channel. As long as they got a Roku TV. We got our social media platforms, every social media platform at Our Black Media, where it's just so much that we're doing. It's a whole lot, and you're talking about 20 different shows that I got to make sure goes off without a hitch. Right. Then you're talking about the magazines. We got Hello Savannah. We got Port City Review. We just started Hello Atlanta, and we're going to be starting Hello Jacksonville by November. So we got 4 different magazines that we'll be doing. 3 of them are out now. Then we in the next 2 to 3 weeks we'll be starting Hot 2100 Savannah. That's a radio station that we're starting.
Wow.
You all will be on the radio also. That was surprise y'all. So y'all shows will be broadcast on the radio also. So y'all just hang on. It's a whole lot. You know, I'm really busy.
Well,
Man,
listen,
you trying to add more on our plate, Julius.
That's what I said. I heard that. But before we get deep into the conversation, let me let the people know what we're talking about with incarceration to incorporation. What we specifically do is we want to reach out to all audiences, but one category of people that we want to encourage is those that are called returning citizen. A returning citizen is a person who has been incarcerated, whether it was 20 days ago or 20 years ago, but they have re-entered society, and we want to encourage them. We believe that stories matter. Why? Because your story, Frederick Green or Julius Hall, your story may encourage others that have come home and let them know that they too can make it. So that's what we do here at Incarceration to Incorporation. We hear the stories of men and women who are successful in their own right, successful educationally, occupationally, successful in a relational aspect or in an educational aspect. And so that's why we do what we do. But in doing those things, sometimes we get too caught up and it causes some issues. That's why we titled this The Burdens of Business. So I'm going to ask some pointed questions to each of you. And then I myself, you know, I could have said it too, that, you know, since I've been home now 5 years, thank God, after doing 26 years, I am now caught up in a whirlwind of activities, not fruitless, but fruitful activities. I'm getting my master's degree, 2 more classes, and I'll be through running our own organization, Offender Alumni Association. I have my motivational speaking opportunities. I am a minister. I am a mentor, and I am a husband as well. So I'm all over the place, but we have to have someone in our lives to help us to understand when to say no. So we're going to talk about all those things. So I'm going to start with you first, Fred. Just real brief, tell us one more time, since you have been home from incarceration, what all have you accomplished and what are you into now? And then I'm going to stop and interject some questions about busyness.
Well, since I've been home, I tell you like this. One point of time, I came home, I was working 21 hours a day for 3 years till my body couldn't take it no more.
Wow.
Now, I did accomplish a house out of it, but I worked just like that, and it's not an embellishment. It's not a fabrication. Anybody that know me, my family was on the line right now, they will be able to vouch for that. Mm-hmm. And so my family suffered. The emotional connectivity with my children, they suffered, but I was able to accomplish something. Then I fast forward. I also, just like you, Drew, obtained my master's in social work. And at one point in time, I was so focused because in grad school, you can't work another job in the daytime. So I would go to grad school. I would get out of grad school. I helped me and a partner of mine named Nevada Smith. Shout out to Nevada with NASCUT. We started NASCUT Landscaping. He would pick me up from school in my van. I took the back seat out. We would put the lawn equipment in, go door to door, knock on doors, and cut grass. When nighttime fall out, jump into a restaurant. I was working at B&D Burgers. We opened up the B&D Burgers here in Savannah. Okay. Then I had started a commercial cleaning business. So when I closed down the restaurant, then I went and cleaned my office buildings. So you talking about, am I spending time with my wife? Am I spending time with my children? What my thought process is I'm the provider. I got to go out there and get it because I got to be the man of the household and I got to make sure I provide, but also I got these goals and these aspirations. So I got to achieve them also because we say what? The verbiage is and the adage is nobody ain't going to give you nothing. True so that. You got to go out there and get it. So since then, I've been working in different arenas. I've been working in academia. I've been working in reentry. I've been working in mental health. And I've been working at them all simultaneously. Then you talk about in order for you to get some upward mobility, you have to get civically engaged. People coming out of incarceration. If you want to go back to college, you got to get letters of recommendation. You want to get a certain type of school, go to a certain type of job, you got to get letters of recommendation. If you want to get off paper, you got to get letters of recommendation.
That's
if you want
it.
to get off parole or get a pardon or expungement, you got to get. So you got to get civically engaged, and sometimes you got to do all this stuff simultaneously. And so here it is, 23 years later after my incarceration, I'm still civically engaged. I'm still jumping from this, helping this organization, helping this. I'm on ink to ink. I'm working a full-time job. I'm trying to start an organization. I have implemented an organization. So I say it don't start till the casket drop, but I don't want the casket to drop too early.
Not the casket dropping, boy.
Yeah, but I don't want it to drop too early because of the busyness of life.
Right.
And we talked about that, Julius, and sometimes too busy, your relationships begin to falter.
Yes.
Your spirituality, the thing that help you get out of incarceration, the thing that you try to hold on to can begin to suffer, right? And sometimes they say being busy is just busy, being under Satan's yoke.
Being under Satan's yoke. Okay. All right. So I'm coming back because I got some questions for you. Some personal, and you let me know if they are too as well. But I also want some wisdom. But Julius, since you've been home, tell us a little bit about what you've been into as well.
Well, I've been into everything. I got 2 books I've written. I'm about to start the 3rd. I should have had them up here, but they're in the car. You all will be able to order them before the 1st of the month. We had an issue with the alignment of how they were in the book. On the computer, they looked right when we approved it. But when we got a copy of it, the title, instead of being up top, it was at the bottom on a bunch of the pages. So we had to get that set straight. But I'm on my 3rd book. As soon as I could get these 2 to the door, they are the book of poetry is ready. My autobiography is getting ready. It's ready. It's already been finished and everything, edited and everything. And but I just have to get that reconfigured. And on top of that, just starting these different platforms, from Roku TV to social media with the 20 shows. From our magazines, we got magazines now, and then now we're about to start Hot 2100 Savannah. That's our radio station. It's not no new work on y'all. It's not more work on y'all. It's the same show that we'll be doing now. It'll just be broadcast on the radio also.
Okay,
that's all. So it's nothing. It's no added work. So we'll and then it'll be while we're not on the air, the radio station will be playing continuous nice music 24 hours a day, and you all will be able to help us market that by listening yourself, putting it on all your because it's digital. You can't. It's not transitional where you turn to it in your car. You put it on your phone, and then you can plug it in through your Bluetooth. Right. So it's a lot that I've been doing. Besides, and that's just my extracurricular activities. In real life, I do political work. So I'm working political campaigns. I'm working 2 or 3 of them now. That's how I keep the lights on. Doing political work and business consulting also. So it's just a lot that I do, trying to make things work for us to get this platform out there to everybody. And you have to have that middle road where you can balance everything out, because if you can't balance it, then it'll take control of you. Some days on a Saturday, I'll just go and, like, this is football season, so my Saturdays will be tied up anyway, Saturdays and Sundays. I'll just program whatever needs to be programmed, and then I'm going to watch football. But when it wasn't football, I found myself here at this computer all the time. So I don't need to be at the computer all the time. I need to have that balance. So some Saturdays and Sundays, I'd binge watch a series on TV. I'd go back and catch all the episodes just so I could just relax and won't have this stuff on my mind. Because you got to be able to clear your mind so you can move and think in a different way than every day you focused in on the same thing. You got to be able to clear that mind so you can move in a expeditious way.
So let me ask both of you a question. Now we got multiple audiences. We're talking about those that are returning citizens, but we're also talking about just common, men and women that are in society. What's up, Emisa? What's up, Area Scott? I just wanted to, give shouts out to you for watching Incarceration to Incorporation. But here is my question: how do you use the word balance, Julius? How do you balance? And I want you to be practical in that. I'm gonna go to you first, Julius, and then Fred, I'm gonna come to you. How are you balancing yourself? And I want you to be 100 and be practical.
Well, you have to be able to say I need a break, or it's gonna wear you out. I'm doing things that I think, and I tell everybody I was having this conversation. We had a 7-hour meeting today. 7 hours. 7 hours right here in this room. For 7 hours, I had a meeting with a financial person. And and you have to be able to say I got to shut down so I can be able to function. You got to be able to. It's like the body needing sleep. And I find that I keep going and I keep going and I keep going. I might be at my desk until 1 o'clock in the morning, but I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to work hard now so I can play hard later. And that's the old saying, that's the song, work hard now, play hard later. Right. And I'm putting in the work. But the balance comes from when you know that you need to sit down. I'll take a break. I took a 6-day vacation the other day. 6 days away from well, I did do a show while I was on that. I did do a show, I have to admit. That Saturday I did do a show. But I took 6 days and I relaxed. I was with all my homies. We were in Atlanta, and we did things out in the community. I didn't have to worry about what was going on in Savannah or on this platform. And I took those 6 days so I can re-energize myself.
So basically what you're saying is you were intentional when you just did it, vacation. All right. Correct. What about you, Fred? How are you practically balancing yourself? Or if you're not, just keep it real.
Yeah, I don't think I am. I think, I want to encourage the audience. I don't care what profession, where you coming from. Burnout is real. Vicarious traumatization is real. Especially when you're in this work, dealing with other people's problems. Social services brings on stress. So finding a self-care, we always talk about self-care, and finding those things. And for me, self-care is just not the power trips. Or the only time I can just take some time to run to New York or Atlanta or wherever it's on the weekend. Then I got to have the stress of rushing back. Somehow or another we have. For me, when I hear balance, is when I'm in a place where I'm able to, one, let money make money for me, and two, where I don't have to worry about, I'm buying myself freedom for later on, So to be honest and to be honest with you and to be candid, I have not found that balance yet. I have not. I'm steady trying to climb the ladder. I'm steady trying to get out of survival mode. I just got through rearing 4 children, So I'm steady trying to come back from that, because that was a lot. Coming out of incarceration, coming straight out the concrete, buying houses and doing all kind of different stuff. And then just trying to elevate myself by going to school. That took a toll. So I'm finding my niche in my career. So now as I'm finding my niche in my career, I'm having to be involved in all this stuff. And it's a constant. I'm gonna tell you what, like this. A gentleman, Father Steve, was at Old Savannah City Mission when I was doing my intern, and he was seeing how I was moving and working. And he said, "Mr. Green, I'm gonna tell you something." He said, "I lost my family because I was so tied to the mission." He was doing what you call that work when you go across seas and
Missionary work.
Missionary work. And he said, I lost my family doing missionary work. And he told me something that was so profound. I tell people this day, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to regurgitate it now. He said, there's an endless black hole of need out there.
Mm.
So take care of yourself.
Wow. Wow. An endless black hole of need. What up, Kenneth? Kenneth Jenkins is on the mic. Kenneth Jenkins said, I'm retired, so I can just chill out and relax. He said, outside of being class online, I'm not doing much. Listen, we need to holler at Kenneth and put him up on some of the stuff we got going on, some volunteer work, you know what I'm saying? Well, Fred, talk to me, Fred. Tell me something. What up, Ron Garrett? Ron Garrett is another brother. He's an awesome. What's up? Ron is a brother that I've known for many, many years. He just did 20 years as well, and now he's home, and he is successful in many realms, educationally, occupationally, relationally. He's doing the work that we've been doing for many years, the reentry work, motivational speaking. I mean, he's doing a whole bunch of things, so he can also speak to this very subject of what the burdens of being too busy. But Fred, tell me something. You use the term vicarious traumatization. Can you break that down for us, please?
So vicarious, there's a such thing also is called STSD. We talk about PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, but there's also STSD, which is secondary traumatic stress disorder. Mm-hmm. So the body and it's called also compassion fatigue. So the body incurs stress vicariously, not by necessarily what you're going through, but what others are going through. It's hurtful for us to see our brothers and sisters being incarcerated unjustly, unfair sentences, disproportionality. So therefore, that hurts me. So since that hurts me, my retaliation is fighting against this beast. You know, because I see my brothers and sisters being unfairly, unjustly through this system. We talk about 13th Amendment. And then when learning all this stuff, it's vicarious to me because I did not know. And so I fell into the same trap, and I'm watching generation after generation fall into the same trap. May it be mental health, may it be incarceration, may it be just lack of knowledge.
Stop right there, Fred. Hold up, on lack of knowledge and incarceration, because I got some questions for both you and Julius, but we got to pay the bill. Listen, we're going to go and have a quick commercial, and when we come back, we'll get back with Fred and also Julius Hall. Let's pay some bills, Julius. Listen, we paid some bills and now we're back. We're talking about the burdens of being busy, or the burdens of busyness. And Fred was just telling us that there is a term called vicarious traumatization, and how we may not directly be impacted by busyness, but vicariously we can be impacted. Julius Hall was telling us that sometimes you simply got to just do it. You got to get away and take a vacation. But Fred was saying, in honesty, he has not yet learned how to balance that. So Fred, you can take it over again.
Yeah, no, I just want to sum it up by saying, all of these things, and so they cause vicarious stress. And so you're constantly saying, okay, how can I dismantle this system? Because we know that the system is not broken, it's working the way it was designed.
Right.
And so we constantly working every day. I just saw the as we paid the bills, the commercial. You talk about financial literacy. You're talking about comedy. You're talking about sports. You're talking about all these things, Black history. You're talking about all these things that was in the commercial, that was outlined in the commercial, that some of that stuff we do not know. Some of that stuff to this day, we are literally perishing for lack of knowledge. That's why platforms like Ain't the Ink, what we do with OAA, filling the gap, all these different platforms that's giving us new information and new ways to be successful so that we don't be burdened by busyness.
Okay. Tell me something, Julius Hall, and I want you to just keep it real. What do you say to that returning citizen, that person who's been in prison 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Now they're out and they're grinding and they're trying to re-establish themselves. And you come up to them and say, listen, don't get too busy. What do you say to them when they say, I have to get established? These are some of the things that I have to do.
Well, I want them to grind, because an idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Okay.
So we want them to grind. We want them to keep grinding, but we want them to do it in a way that is productive for their health and for their financial stability. So we want to watch. Well, they need to keep a watch on their health, because you can get away from and let it get away from you by eating all the wrong foods. And if you sit there long enough on a forklift or driving a truck, eating all the greasy food, your health get bad. And you riding 7, you gone for 30 days, and then you back for 2 or 3, then you gone for 30 again. Those guys, but you got to take it easy. You got to have some, if you don't balance it, and some people are not able to. Like Fred said, he ain't got a hold of it yet. I'm able to balance it. I'm a workaholic anyway. I do several different things. Like I tell y'all, all the things that we're doing on all 4 different platforms, from Roku TV to social media to magazines to going in the radio to writing books. I'm doing it all. Ain't making no money yet, but that's what the idea is, to make money later on. And you have to be able to put yourself in a position to leave whatever we're doing. We're at that age now where we want to leave something. It's about legacy. You want to leave something to somebody. So you want to keep continuing to grind so that when you leave this earth, you can leave somebody in a better position than what they were.
Okay. Fred, you tell me, and I want you to be, transparent if you would like to. I see what you said, Kenneth. Kenneth said, my advice, take it one day at a time. Listen to your body. Fred, what would you say to that returning citizen? And then we're going to go to the other category of men and women. But what would you say to that person that's grinding and like, Fred, I got to get it. I want to make it happen. I got to get me a car, got to get me a house, got to get me established. I've been gone 20 years. What would you say to them? Would you tell them what you did? Would you tell them the burdens and the dangers of the things that you have lost? Talk to the people.
So I would say, as I have said when I went in the institution when I was working with the Pathways program, is I tell them not to get before their release. I said not to give in to societal demands and unrealistic expectations. What do I mean by that, Fred? I'm glad you asked. Societal demands is you got to get the car, you got to get the house, you got to drive this particular house, you got this car, you got to have a big house, you got to do this, you got to do this. By the time you turn 30 or whatever the case may be. And I remind him the colonel didn't start KFC till he was well over 65.
Whoa,
so don't let society place that burden on you by saying that you got to do this and do this by this particular age. There's no particular time at any time when God will open up the floodgates for you and allow you to be productive. But I like the word that you always use, Julius, is intentionality. Be intentional when you get out. Make your plan before you get out. Even if you're out now, make a vision board. We help the young people make vision boards. Make a vision board about what you want to do, what's going to be relative, not only for now, but for years to come, and what you could do till you old and great and make money. That's one thing. Now you're talking about unrealistic expectations. You cannot, if you are a person that's incarcerated, you cannot make up for the time you lost.
Right.
Kids, don't come home till I got to get my kids the latest Jordans. I got to get them their clothes tear up, shoes wear out. The only thing you could do is start from where you at. Eating an ice cream cone is more powerful with a child than going to buy them this, that, and the other. And that's going to make you to get back out in the street and get full throttle. Don't give it to baby mama, wife, whoever is coming up against you saying that, okay, I was holding it down while you've been gone. If they are not being enhancing your life and they're not in a value-based category and trying to enhance your life, then you need to remove yourself from them. Because if you listen to people talking, I've been holding it down. Now it's time for you to work. It's time for you to do this or do that. And they don't understand the barriers that you're gonna face. Listen here, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna be real with everybody. When I was going through grad school, my mama was being negative and I fed her with a long handle spoon. That's how driven I was. Because you cannot allow anybody that's being negative or bringing negative energy to knock you off your square. I don't care if it's your mom. And so if it's your wife or your girlfriend, you have to separate yourself from them so you can be on your mission. The last thing I'm going to say is that successful reintegration is possible. It is real. You can do it, but you have to be intentional. You have to be focused. You have to have drive and determination, and you have to have a circle of influence where you have to surround yourself around successful people. And those are the things that I have been able to do to get me to where I'm at now.
You must be intentional. You must be focused, and you must be driven and have a great circle of influence. But I be listening. Yeah. What up, Kenneth? Kenneth say, "Preach, Fred." And Aubrey is on. Aubrey Fuller will say, "What's up? Hello, how you doing? Preaching, son." Let me see who else is joining. I want to make sure I get everybody in here that's listening. Listen, now we've already encouraged our brothers and sisters that are coming home. Now I want to also talk about just men and women in our community, period. I have a question, but let me preface that question with a little background. For example, myself, as you know, I'm newly married, and when you are married or in relationships, period, you want to please your spouse or your mate, and you want to spend time with them. But there's an old song that I remember by, what that boy name? If you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight, girl. That boy they was saying. But what was he saying? She wanted all those things. He wanted all those things, but you got to work to get those things. So my question is, and that's not a negative connotation, I simply want to say, how can we protect our relationships or our marriages when we find ourselves too busy? Talk to me, Julius.
You just have to find that time to do those things that you need to do together. Because if you can't, then you will suffer in the relationship. I'm just lucky enough to have a wife that has so much to do that she's not worried about. She's more busy than me. So, so it balances itself out. Because we're always gone. She's gone there and I'm going here. I have never even been to a school board meeting. She's been on for 5 years. I have not had the time. I'm always busy. And so, and during the day I'm in a meeting. A lot of people don't see the stuff that I'm doing, but I'm doing a whole lot and I'm always gone. But you got to be able to balance that, because a person will feel like you're neglecting them if you don't call them all the time, if you're not there to go to the movies. You used to have date night, all this kind of stuff. Well, you get older, those things kind of like dwindle away, but you still find those times to take vacation. You find those times to do those things with your loved ones and your kids and your grandkids. because you need that time also. You can't just sit at that computer all day because all you're going to do is get fat. You can't just go to work all day long and work 21 hours, Fred. You can't do that. You can't do that because 21 hours will wear you out.
As it did. Julius, I appreciate your honesty. That's still dangerous. But Fred, I want to speak to you. Lord, Fred, tell us about the dangers also in relationships or being too busy.
Yeah, it'll suffer because everybody can't take. Let me see how I can express this correctly. The mission that you own, everybody can't accept that mission. I'm newly divorced now, and I think that played a contributing factor to it. And so being in all transparency, I lost a wife of my youth, and so that's how real it is. And I ain't gonna say, that didn't play a role in it. I think it was too much for her. And here she's trying to be supportive to everything that I'm doing. And I'm just jumping from one thing to another, just jumping like this, jumping like this, jumping like this. And so it's real. And so relationship with our wives, spouse, whoever, they have to have that time, that quality time. I wish I was as fortunate as Julius is, that this person was just as busy. But then also it's not just that piece, it's self-awareness on both ends.
Right.
Because sometimes our spouse too they may have some issues. They may have some stuff. So I would say that as you are traveling along your journey, make sure that your self-awareness is key on both ends. Make sure both parties know the baggage and everything that they're bringing to the relationship.
Yes.
And be transparent at the beginning of the relationship. Hey, I have these goals. I have these aspirations. How do you think you can fit into this? And with me, it was a thing about just springing stuff on my spouse and just doing what I want to do when I want to do it, and this, that, and the other, and that does not work for a relationship. So I would say being busy, don't be too busy to spend time with your significant other, your children, like Julius said, your grandchildren. Make sure you nurturing those relationships, because at the end of the day, we are the leader of our homes. And you're a spiritual man, Julius. If you can't lead your home first, you can't lead nowhere else.
Can't lead nowhere. Man, thank you, gentlemen, for your honesty. I see Kenneth, but now Kenneth be talking about, Kenneth say, keep other folks out your business. Remember, the wife is the boss. What's up, Jenny? Jenny Ben said it's a really great platform. We really enjoy you, all of you that are writing in and that are listening. Fred, Julius, thank you for your honesty. I've only been married now 3 years, so I'm still almost a newlywed, but nevertheless, I too am experiencing that friction, if you will, the burdens of busyness. And my wife is often sitting me down and saying, you need to make sure that you be on point. Matter of fact, one time she was just bold and simply said, you better not set another date on a weekend without talking to me first. So, but some women, they allow themselves to be quiet, and that pressure just builds up. And when you don't have a good communication, then, you will mess up some things. So I'm just grateful to be in the space where I am. When number one, I want to make sure that I'm balanced. And number two, that I am listening enough to be able to connect with my wife, to make sure I run by her those things that I'm doing.
But Julius, I like to say this, it's not just the spouse, it's relationships, period. You have friends. If you have children, if you have other people that look up to you that need your support and need your time also.
True.
And so they suffer as well when you're too busy to nurture your children. Training a child in the way they should go is not just biblical. It's also finding their gifts and their talents and then pushing them in that direction. How can we do it? I kick myself all the time for my children. What could I have made them become? They're great people now, but how much more if I would have been able to be stable and not? And I'm in survival mode. There's no other way I feel like I could have did it differently. I was high school dropout, didn't have all I knew was the streets. And so I transition from, like you say on the first part, Julius, when you have this to that, from sitting on the prison bunk to now doing this. So it was that transit. But how much more if I would have nurtured those children and find their gifts, what they could have probably become.
That's right. That's right. Listen. We coming back. What we're talking about again is the burdens of busyness. We got to pay a couple of bills one more time, and then we'll be back. Stay tuned. Julius, let's pay some bills. Well, look at that, Julius. I don't know where you get no commercial from, boy, but I was jamming back here. Listen, my name is Julius Campbell. I got Julius Hall with me and Frederick Green, and we are talking about the burdens of busyness. And we're here on Ink to Ink, Incarceration to Incorporation, and we've talked about a plethora of ideas about how we can balance ourselves. But as we get ready to turn this corner and pull this car into the parking lot, I want to be able to encourage those that are listening to us, because I don't want to leave them with some worries and anxiety. We want to build them up with awareness. I think you said it best, Fred. We must be aware, us and our spouses or partners or what have you. So as we turn this corner, I'm gonna start with you first, Julius. Would you right now look into the camera and talk to the audience again? What are some encouraging words that you can leave with this audience, both those that are incarcerated, those that are returning citizens coming home, and then the community at large, about the burdens of busyness?
Well, the only encouraging words is to not get so busy where you forget that other people are important around you. You have to be able to say, I'm going to make time for what's important for me. You can't be selfish to the point where you're too busy to take care of business. Those who are coming home just need to understand how to balance your life. Stay out of trouble. If being too busy means staying out of trouble, then get too busy for me, because I need you to stay out of trouble. Get busy. You have to work. In this world, you cannot do anything without working to take care of what your responsibilities are. So you're going to be busy trying to make it ends meet. And the biggest thing that you need is that helpmate. You need somebody to help you to make it. That's what they're for, and that's what you're there for their life. And so my biggest advice is to find that balance, and to walk that road together with that person or those people, and let somebody else do some of the work sometime. You can't do it all. It's a heavy burden to carry when you're too busy for yourself, when you're too busy to enjoy your life. We're only here for a short while. You never know how long you're going to be on this earth. So enjoy your life. All those things that you're working so hard for, you have to be able to enjoy some of it yourself. Because if you just work until you just fall dead, then what were you working for?
Yes.
So that's what my advice to people.
And I love that, just being honest. I like that. One thing we saw that you said, you brought a positive connotation to something that at first may have seemed negative. Busyness does keep some people out of danger, but we got to also remember you can't be too busy to mess up your priorities. Thank you, Julius. What up, Fred? Talk to us. Encourage those that are listening, those that are incarcerated, those that are returning citizens, and then the community at large.
I would say come up with a plan, be intentional. Like Julius said, stay on your grind, but also, find a healthy balance. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then all other things will be added unto you. Be therewith content with that which you have. And a lot of times we look at reality TV and all this stuff on social media, and it breeds discontentment. So we go harder and harder and harder trying to match ourselves. That's the part of the propaganda machine. But be thankful for whatever you have, the strength and abilities that God has given you, and just move forward, and just keep pressing. Sooner or later, you keep pressing grapes, you will get some juice, And so that's what I would say, and just learn from the mistakes of others. Surround yourself around successful people, because success breeds success. And you don't have to work hard, and learn technology. Technology that can make you money where you don't have to kill yourself physically. You heard how Julie said, I'm doing the podcast, I'm doing this, and it has not brought me wealth yet, but it's leaving a legacy, and that's wealth. Wealth is not always monetary. So it's about changing our mindset and about changing our perspective and our perception of what true wealth is. It's not out here trying to get $1 million or whatever the case may be, but it's about leaving. What will your dash say? Leaving that legacy, right? We need money too, but also leaving that legacy, because your network can become your net worth.
I like that. Listen, David Banner's on. What's up, David? Say, I'm watching. And Kenneth says, stay strong and keep God ahead of you. Listen, guys, I love what you have said. You've given us food for thought. Fred, I like you say, don't be swayed or entrapped by societal demands. And we got to be careful and aware of those, you use the big word, I love it, you said, those vicarious traumas that come our way. And I definitely love how you shared, listen, just do it. Get away sometime. Those are the things that will help us to be free of the burden of business. Listen, one thing I want to leave with my people too, one thing I do when I came home, I too was ready to push and press and persevere. But I also had to learn one day at a time. And that's what we want you to know as well. One day at a time. Be intentional. We want you to be busy. But when that busyness gets in the way of relationships, then it becomes an issue. And as to my brothers and sisters that have come home, my brothers and sisters that have not yet come home, listen, prepare yourself. Progressively prepare to be the person that you want to be, so that when you come home, you don't have to hit the ground running and then drown in your success. And those of you that are already home, my community at large, I want you to. We want to make you aware. Busyness does break people. So that's what this program was about today. Just bringing you awareness so that you can make right decisions. All things may not be bad, but all things are not wise. You got to be careful in what you do. So as we get ready to close, listen, Julius, you want to say something before we close?
Just tune in. Watch what we're doing here. We're bringing information to the whole community as best we can. Like I said, we are on TV. We're on social media platforms. We're in magazines on the internet, and we are starting a radio station. So just be intentional to watch what we're doing. So because we're intentional in giving you the information that we're gathering for you. and we're trying to give it to you through every medium that we can. So just stay tuned to Our Black Media, and we're going to take you to the next level and hope you go there with us.
Gotcha. J.E. Dixon, just tuning in. Thank you for riding with us as well. And listen, Fred, what do you want to say in conclusion?
Hey, man, develop that circle of influence. You know, stay tuned in and develop that circle of influence. And this is part of it. Get information and then connect yourself around people that you can know people that know people, so you ain't even got to owe people.
I like that. Listen,
right.
Fred, his organization is filling in the gaps, and we're working with youth. We're working with adults. Listen, listen for that name and support. I got a question before we go. Kenneth Jenkins said, when, Julius, are we on the radio?
It should be in the next 2 to 3 weeks. They want to come set it up on the 21st, but I don't know whether the office will be ready by then. But by the 1st of the month for sure. The first week of the month, we should have everything installed. It's not transitional radio where you go in your car and turn it. It'll be digital radio where you can go on your phone and listen to it 24 hours a day. You can have it hooked up to your Bluetooth in your car, so you can listen to it in your car, but from your phone. It's digital. And it's Hot 2100 Savannah. And we are going to be the brother station to Hot 2100 Atlanta. You can go on there and get Hot 2100 Atlanta and listen to the music now at www.hot2100.com. But you'll also be able to get us through Hot 2100 Savannah.com. So when we set it up.
We doing things, y'all. Our Black Media. Check this out. Thank you for joining us here at Ink to Ink, Incarceration to Incorporation. Listen, I'm your boy, Julius Campbell. Marie Jones is not here with us right now, and she's our host. She's on the bus right now, just getting a chance to see the world. Marie, get back so you can take over, girl. We miss you. Listen, I always want to leave you when we say this one thing. We may have started this thing out wrong, but check us out now. We're finishing strong. You too can finish strong. We love you. We see you again next week on Ink to Ink. Good night.
Good night.
I like that.